Welcome, everybody. Today is day 774 of the illegal invasion of the sovereign nation of Ukraine by Moscovia. My name is Secular Sekai with Tridents Against Tyrants, and I'm joined today by James from Why Ukraine, The Last Alliance,
Howdy.
and Sherkahn. And I'm guessing the NM is for New Mexico?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got Yana and Halina, both from Project Konstantin. So, yeah, go ahead and say hi, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
All right. So, yeah, today's
howdy.
stream. Yep. Howdy. We are mostly here to discuss a little bit about what everyone's been up to with their respective organizations. So I've got some news pulled up, so we may go a bit over some recent events that have happened relating to the war in Ukraine. And yeah, I guess let's hop into it. So let's start with Yana. What has Project Konstantin been up to? What has the last week or so looked like with the work you guys have been doing?
I'm just seeing now Dick's in our chat. He's like, Halina! Because he's wanted you on the Shills stream for a while, and that was the first time he's seeing you. So, yeah. So for us, what we've been up to, we have been kind of, I think, for the most part, we've been working on getting resources together again. Pete's spoken about it on stream a bit, so and we've also mentioned it that for now we're kind of focusing on just getting resources together because with where we're at, it's not stable enough. It wasn't stable enough for us to actually get down a stabilization point and do an evac and set up a proper evac. The line is just not stable enough. So we're getting our resources together. We want to give out some supplies. We're working on getting some supplies together to hand it out because we've got supplies and we don't want to sit with it when we know there's a need for it. And then, of course, with Thursday's strike on Kharkiv, it was we lost a friend of the organization, Vladislav, who's a firefighter, so we lost him. So it was also difficult for us, kind of coming to grips with that. But Halia is more on the ground there. Even though she's in Odessa, she's still closer to where we are than where I am here in South Africa. So Halia can maybe tell us a bit more of what's going on the ground, from the day-to-day stuff. Halia?
It's not very easy to understand that Yana can know something less than I or than everybody in this room because Yana is our main information instrument tool in Project Konstantin.
I believe that she's a pretty wealthful hub of information.
Yeah, but previous weekend I was in the east. I met our guys, I met our team, I met some guys from a unit from Pedrozdel, just for a second. And it's some another situation as in Odessa. In Odessa we have some rocket attacks every day and drone attacks every night. It's like usual situation. Sometimes we are going to shelter, sometimes we haven't time for this. Oh, it's rocket, okay. Let's see, it will be blackout or without it. And like this, but there in the east, the ground is jumping during several hours a day. And I don't know whom from this noise, from our guys, from another side. And no shelters, If in Odessa I can choose what I can do there, it's not the same. No shelters. It was something about 30 kilometers from front line.
Yeah.
And it's not the first my experience, but I haven't a lot of such experience. But to see soldiers' eyes, for me, it's something like challenge. It's something about vision for the life, for my life, for life of our project Konstantin, and it's a huge motivation. Don't stop. Go straight. Is it correct?
Absolutely. Yeah,
And do your job as good as possible.
absolutely agreed. And yeah, no, whether it's the first time or not, I imagine just seeing any of that, and especially seeing the effect of this war in the eyes of soldiers, it's something that it, yeah, you can only imagine what they've been through. So mm, it's good for more people to have exposure to what the reality of this war is. So thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah, and it's a good habit which every Ukrainian can have here in Ukraine and other regions, in like safe regions, to come to soldiers and in the street and say thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like that everybody have to have this habit.
Yeah, I agree. That would be fantastic to see that from every single person. And so I guess moving over to James right quick, with Why Ukraine, The Last Alliance. What have you been up to? What's the last week look like for your projects, James?
Running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Getting prepared to do a frontline run. Looks like with Greg Terry, or not Greg, but Jenya. Yeah, so that is supposed to be happening, and in fact, I need to send him an email because my phone was off all day today, and he was supposed to give me a call. Today was the day we were going to have the big arrangement, and I had some technical phone issues. The main thing is getting my focus is on getting funding channels opened up that go beyond our little Ukraine bubble, that go beyond our community, to bring people in who maybe they care about Ukraine, they love Ukraine, they want to support Ukraine, but they're not watching the news every day. They don't really know what's going on. I'm talking about people in America, right, who are maybe they're a little bit out of touch, and I want to get those people who are mostly they watch cat videos, but if a link popped up and said, hey, would you like to support Ukraine today, they'll click on that link. Those are the people that I'm trying to get to, basically, and I'm just experimenting lots of different ways, actually hiring Ukrainians right now to help me configure like my website, for example, to integrate that better with YouTube, TikTok, Discord, all of those things, so that we can start to build that community. And that's a big part of where I'm at right now.
Okay. Well, yeah. And if you ever, well, I guess I've been working on other websites, so I haven't done it yet for Tridents specifically. But yeah, I've got experience building websites, so let me know if you need any help with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So with regards to my channel, we're continuing our fundraising campaign for the 110th Mechanized Brigade, which I did not have a chance to do so before the stream, so I'm going to put the links for that into the description of the video, along with everyone else's links when we're done here. But yeah, it's been a lot of talking with multiple different organizations in a few parts of Canada, and then Washington, D.C., and Texas, and one small group in Oklahoma, a couple different places in the States. A lot of it's been with groups in DC and trying to see about getting aid unlocked to send to Ukraine, of course. But yeah, I guess let me pull up a bit of information right quick about some events that have happened here recently, and I should be able to actually share my screen so we can take a look and discuss some of these topics. So let's see here. All right, here's something from the BBC that might be good to cover right quick. Let me pull it up and put it in reader mode and share my screen.
Just a thing, Dick, this is water. My wine is in the kitchen. Okay, thank you very much.
It was a secret.
This is water. The wine is in the kitchen. This isn't
Very
a
good to know.
Shills stream. It's not a drink stream.
Just after.
This is true. We're also all in different time zones, so might be more or less appropriate for a drink depending on where someone is.
Yeah, no, it is like 27 minutes past 5 in the afternoon here. So it is definitely okay here to drink.
Yeah. So, oh, and also the chat overlay I just realized is paired. So whenever you see that up on the screen, it should be coming from every channel that's connected.
Yeah,
so
that's
right
kind of
here-
cool. It's a fun experiment.
I know, right? It is a pretty nice feature.
Yeah.
So here from the BBC, we have a headline about Europe rumbling about war with Russia. So title of this article is Russia's neighbors urge NATO allies to bring back military service. And I think that, well, there are several countries that neighbor Russia, such as Finland, Sweden, all the Baltics that have kind of been doing this for a while. So I'm expecting this will be a few other NATO countries that are being referred to. But here we go. Tovo Savas is among the current crop of young Estonians. Yep, there we go. Undergoing their military service. Rain drips down the glasses of new recruit Toivo Savas, tracing the contours of the green and black face paint that completes his camouflage. Lying on the sad plume of air, he breathes out silently into the icy Estonian forest. Then comes the deafening call to attack. The 25-year-old springs to his feet. Forming a line with his brothers in arms, he bounds through the trees towards the Russian border. As he advances to the clatter of enemy fire, the Southampton University mechanical engineering graduate knows that one day this could all be for real. We're practicing for any threat, he says. We're ready for anything that comes to Estonia, and we're ready to defend the country. Toivo, from the capital Tallinn, is among the current crop of young Estonians undergoing their military service, a duty all men over 18 are asked to carry out. For women, it is voluntary. And then, I may not read the entire article just because I'll be sitting here reading it for a little while, but let's see here. In the end, we have NATO. So Russia has never attacked a country within NATO whose collective defense pact means that an attack on one member constitutes an attack on all. So basically, what I'm seeing from this article is there are nations like Estonia where, yeah, to the best of my knowledge, there is mandatory military service. The Baltics are very small, just like how there are, the threat of war with Russia expanding beyond Ukraine's borders is a very real one that nations in that area are aware of. So I guess, what do you guys think across the rest of the NATO alliance, not just mandatory military service like some nations have, but do you think that this is something that could actually spur on a culture of more patriotism or interest in NATO as a whole, and possibly unify people a bit more toward assisting Ukraine? Or do you think it could have an opposite effect? What are your thoughts on this topic?
I guess you'd have to take the pulse in Europe. I mean, mandatory service, for example, in the United States, I don't think would go over very well. But also, we don't feel threatened. Even the,
yeah. Back in 2001, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the war, our 20-year useless war, just blew out of the water any possibility of Americans, you know, volunteering to fight for a reason, because they just leave that it's all bullshit no matter what, you know. So
yeah, there's a lot of honestly, since, and it's not a new phenomenon, but since Vietnam and then multiple other wars after that, especially the most recent ones, especially Afghanistan, yeah, I would agree with you on that sentiment, unfortunately. So
I don't know. I mean, we had actually a lot of popular support here for the Gulf War. So there's always a possibility. It's just whether or not you can unite the world for a common cause. Personally, I think Ukraine is a common cause that the world should unite for, but the world doesn't agree with me right now, or at least the world governments don't agree. However, I don't think you're going to see, this is just my opinion, and I don't live in Europe, but I don't think you're going to see a positive response to mandatory service until the first NATO country is attacked.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think that is also
Yeah.
where the difficult thing comes in, because, and I'm sorry for calling out Poland. I am really sorry. Like,
no, please.
I know really nice Poles. Like, honestly, you've got Exen, who's like, that guy has donated over 200 cars to ZSU. Okay, like that he's crowdfunded. He's done a lot. Okay, and then one of my friends is like, he helps me with activism from Poland for stuff here in South Africa, and he does a whole bunch of stuff in Poland as well. And so I know you get really awesome Poles. Okay, I know that. And apart from, and let's set aside the farmers. Okay, let's put that aside, because we know there's a whole lot of, you know, there's been a whole bunch of stuff of, no, that guy has been, that guy who was at that specific thing is actually Russian. Okay, so let's put that aside as well. Okay, when that missile landed in a forest in Poland, a year ago, Poland was like, yeah, we knew about it. We just didn't want to do anything about it because we didn't want anyone to know about it. They were going to let it slide. And it wasn't until someone actually found out about it that they were like, oh yeah, I guess we have to address that. About a month ago, when those Russian missiles entered Polish airspace for what I think it was like 38 seconds or something, they were fine with it being in Polish airspace because they knew, their assessment found that, yeah, no, it's actually headed to Western Ukrainian cities. It's not headed for Poland. So why should they shoot it down? It's headed for Western Ukrainian cities. I'm like, what's next? Are they just going to be like, yeah, no, it's fine. Russia can just pull up tanks on the Polish-Ukrainian border, provided the tanks are facing in the Ukrainian direction. Like, is that what's next? You know, because that's literally, it's like...
go ahead.
Yeah. It's literally, it's the same thing. Like, it went into Polish airspace, but I guess it's fine because it was just making a route turning to go into Ukraine. So is it fine? Like, yeah, the Russian tanks can just be on Polish territory because it will just head into Ukraine. You know, it's
maybe they should drive some tanks on the Polish territory too. As long as they turn back around, it's fine, right?
I mean, James, I don't know if you know this, but I mean, the running joke with Ukrainians were that, I mean, if that rocket was filled with Ukrainian grain, at least it would have been shot down. But since there was no Ukrainian grain in it, it wasn't shot down.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's classic.
Man. Well, and you know,
it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Well, and this reminds me of the other day, the stream we had the other day with the Shills. I think I mentioned everything that's going on with Romania and their possible change to military law about deployment abroad, just their own military, not even in the framework of NATO, and all the stuff going on with Turkey, and really just all of their international geopolitical shenanigans and self-interest. It doesn't surprise me at all, because at the end of the day, the alliance exists and the European Union exists, and they exist for very specific reasons, a function of, in the case of NATO, self-defense in case things become extreme, in the case of the EU, free trade across the continent in order to try to foster growth and development in as much as possible across all of Europe. And really, at the end of the day, though, when you look at each individual constituent nation, they've all got their own agendas, unfortunately. And we need to see less of that national self-interest and more of a continental self-interest when it comes to what's best for all Europeans. Because, being politically divided in that way, it's not going to help anyone. All it's going to do is continue to embolden the Russians.
That's exactly correct.
Yep. So,
but I think in that case, it puts you in a difficult, it puts one in a difficult position, because you're on the one side, you're like, you know what, this like political division causes, favors Russia, but at the same time, you have to also call out problematic behavior. So you're always in this catch-22 situation where, like, are you gonna point out problematic behavior? And I remember when the farmers, the Polish farmers, started becoming like a big problem. People were kind of being a thing. It became a thing with, like, are they going to be called out, knowing that there's a big Russian push behind this? Or is it going to just be like, no, let them just do their thing?
Yeah.
And that's a big, it's a difficult thing to navigate. And I think it's something we've spoken about in the past as well, where it's like, we play by the rules of democracy and democratic countries, and Russia doesn't play by those rules. So we play by certain rules given, free speech, and this is what you do in a civilized, proper way. And other countries and Russia is just like, well, we don't really do that. And yeah, I think it's a difficult thing to navigate.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got another article here. This one's more directly related to, excuse me, the war itself. And this is something that, it's a rather somber topic, but I believe it's important to discuss. Article from Militarny. I'm going to share it in chat real fast for anyone who wants to go take a look themselves. And share. So, from Militarny, mil.in.ua, WHO reports increased Russian attacks on Ukrainian ambulances and medical facilities. Let me make that a little bit bigger so everyone can see it. There we go. Oh, wait. And I'll also zoom in. All right. Since the beginning of 2024, the Russians have been attacking Ukrainian emergency medical services more frequently. The World Health Organization has released the has released relevant statistics. The organization notes that ambulance workers and other personnel servicing health transport in Ukraine face a risk of injury and death 3 times higher than that of other healthcare service workers. In addition, they note that the number of Russian attacks has increased and amounted to 68 attacks in the first quarter of 2024. Yeah, here we can see, unfortunately, the result of Russian barbarism and war crimes on this hospital. It doesn't say exactly which region. Approximately 12 of 68 attacks, almost 20%, targeted emergency medical services, and also includes 9 attacks targeting emergency medical aid base stations, 7 attacks resulting in damage to ambulances, and 6 attacks affecting assets and emergency medical aid equipment. So, and then a quote here from Dr. Jarno Habich, a WHO representative in Ukraine. This grim number underscores the pressure on the Ukrainian healthcare system. So really, I guess reason I wanted to bring this up, though it is a difficult topic, is I know with medevacs, with everyone you work with, whether they be volunteers or possibly even directly working with EMS, with emergency medical services there in Ukraine who are being affected by this. Have you noticed, is it more the way it's been for weeks or months now, or has there been a recent uptick of seeming like the enemy specifically doing this war crime targeting ambulances?
They've been doing it since the start. I mean,
Yeah.
there's Pete hears them on the radio talking about how they should target the medics. We actually have an article here somewhere that I can get. I'll find just now. But we hear them, Pete hears them on the radio where they talk about they should target the medics. They actively target medics, not just like the road ambulances, but also the guys once they're in the forest with like us, like our team with the raid ambulance cross or the raid medic cross. So
so just anyone who might be
anyone
trying to
who's a medic, they don't care. That does not exist. Those rules don't exist for them.
Especially medics.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
because.
Well, I remember what was it last summer? Maybe God, I don't even remember how many summers it's been, but I believe it was last summer. They shelled a hospital in Mykolaiv and destroyed a bunch of operating rooms that we had to restore. So I know they're actually targeting the buildings of the medical infrastructure as well.
yeah.
Which is absolutely horrible.
And it wasn't just it was a direct hit on a hospital. I mean, it wasn't that there was something else in the area they may have been trying. It was, like I say, it's another example of Russian precision munitions, hitting what they want to hit, which is a hospital.
Okay, I've posted it in our stream chat, and I'm posting it on the server chat, like in the YouTube, the restream chat, and I've posted the link on the PK YouTube status now. But it's an article Pete had with Metro UK, and in it there's a specific paragraph where he talks about. He says he backed up accounts previously reported on by metro.co.uk that Russian forces are deliberately targeting Ukrainian medical personnel. And it's a quote that says, "We have heard them on the radio giving our coordinates and the descriptions of our vehicles and a quad bike that was feeding injured to us," said Fisher, who has experience on tactical medicine from his police role. "We have heard them saying, 'Fuck those guys up, get rid of them.' We have a sticker on the front of the vehicle saying we are medics, but it's quite obvious we are transferring injured on stretchers from the battlefield. And they know this because we have heard chatter. They have been going after us since we arrived." So that's what they do.
Yeah, and yeah, it's horrific. So, do you think that this is something? Another reason I want to bring this up, not just to leave it on a solemn note, because eh, I feel like many people who regularly come to streams are aware of this. Those who are new, who really don't aren't that well aware of what's happening in Ukraine, this is of course important for them to be made aware of as well. But one thing that I really would like to know about this topic is. Um, I know that there are various different international organizations that are aware and have, to some degree or another, become involved with attempting to assist with the, situation in Ukraine. But do you feel that this is something that really, like, in the form of a political action committee or in the form of some kind of more concrete political pressure needs to be put anywhere to get further support from abroad for Ukrainian medics, volunteers who are helping do medevacs, all of that? Like, how loud is the voice right now to the rest of the world to help with this dire situation?
Whisper.
It's a whisper right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also from from the general feedback I'm getting from people that I get on who I speak to here is the usual reply I get is, what do you expect? This is Russia. And what do you expect? This is war.
That's what you get from
That's what I get when I tell people Russia is targeting medics and that it's a war crime targeting medics and that it's not allowed. Before I can even get to something that like, what should we do? What can be done? The immediate thing is, what do you expect? This is Russia. They don't care. And secondly, even before that is, this is war. It doesn't matter. So
wait.
almost like, given the rules, it doesn't matter. And secondly, when it comes to the rules, Russia is the one country that doesn't listen to those. So why are you even expecting them to listen to it?
Right. Yeah, no, precisely. Well, this is definitely something that more people do need to be aware of. Anyone who is watching, because I know we have people who watch from various different organizations when they have time. Everyone's got their own stuff that they're doing that they're busy with. Yeah, please let your local politicians know. Please, especially if you are in a neighboring European country that possibly has medical infrastructure and individuals who maybe have ties, know people, friends, family in Ukraine. If you're in the US, because just in general, more coverage about Ukraine needs to be done so people are made aware of this. It is something we've been talking about for a while. It's something we're going to keep talking about, and we got to find the most effective way to get as much support as possible, because yeah, many people are being hurt and dying, civilians as well as soldiers. So and medical personnel. So we got to do all that we can to show support.
The problem that the West has to ask itself is, I mean, arguably this concept of don't attack medics, don't attack hospitals, that sort of thing. It's not an ancient tradition that's been upheld for thousands of years or something. It's a recent phenomena, let's say in the last 150 years. Ironically, since about the Crimean War, let's say. I could be wrong in the history there, and someone correct me.
No,
So,
I mean,
but
yeah, those rules of war, I think 19th century were about the time.
Yeah, and they developed for a reason, because with the new weapons, with the advancements of gunpowder, people were like, "Holy crap, this is crazy!" And the West and the world collectively, we have to ask ourselves, was that just a blip on the screen of civilization? And are we descending into a kind of a new dark ages? And are we going to allow that to happen?
Yes.
As a society and as a culture?
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, you look at the way that people support terror organizations right now. I mean, they'll take to the streets in support of a known terrorist organization, and Russia's no different. I mean, that's all Russia is doing is supporting terror, conducting terror. I mean, I've seen it firsthand in Ukraine. It's ridiculous the way they target civilian infrastructure. I mean,
yeah,
the rules don't apply. Who was it that said, I think it was Bismarck that said, what was it? If Russia signs anything, it's not worth the paper that it's written on. I mean, I don't like that excuse or that idea that, oh, it's just Russia, that's what they do. Well, okay, then what are we going to do? I mean, and I think that's collectively as not just as organizations, but as a community, as I'm watching this stream here, there's a lot of people that are obviously into this. I think if every single person did something, bought an IFAC, supported someone like James or Project Konstantin, or like me, just go off the reservation, start packing your gear and head over there and start distributing it. I mean, there's ways to do it. You just have to look beyond the common rules. So if Russia's going to take the rules and throw them in the toilet as far as decency, then maybe we need to take the rules as far as, what we're allowed to do and throw those in the toilet. Because the thing that's stopping most people from helping, honestly, this is my opinion, is red tape.
Yeah.
Or maybe kind of that's the government's job.
Exactly correct. And right now we're looking to the government to do a lot of different things that, they're really just not, this is my opinion, that they're really just not responsible for.
Oh, hey, I got a quick question. Just out of curiosity, when you were saying step off the reservation, just as a figure of speech, or
that's interesting.
I was about to say, do you have any, given the area in the username, any ties to Dine?
Well, I'm surrounded by that. I'm actually in the Pueblo culture down here. That is Pueblo culture, but yes, I'm surrounded by wonderful native culture. It's great. That's why I love living here. It's the most diverse place I've ever seen on the planet.
Very nice. Oh, and I think Matt is joining.
She should be joining pretty soon. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Perfect.
Hey, Pete's
Awesome.
in chat.
Oh, Pete's in chat? Oh, nice.
Yeah, he just said, hey, guys and girls, I'm busy, so just saying hi and thank you. The world does not care anymore. We are on our own, just a few volunteers like us in the AFU. We have to become self-sufficient.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me highlight that, which I'm able to do.
Hey, look at you learning to do stuff.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Yeah, I've just got. Look at the screen right now. I just got a few too many things going.
Yeah, no, we're all learning this together. That's for sure.
Yep. But all right, so let me turn this off for a sec, so we got a little more space, and I'll switch this to.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, welcome, Matt.
Thank you. Hey, Matt.
Yeah. So.
Hi.
If you're able to say so, maybe not where you're at, but what have you been up to here recently? Has things been good? Have they been a little rough? Everything good on your end? Nope.
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey recovering a bit.
Okay.
I broke my foot, so I'm a little immobile right now. But once I'm all recovered, I plan on going back to Ukraine and joining the Foreign Legion.
Well, I hope your foot recovers soon, man.
Yeah. So just to I don't know, like Helena and Yana, I don't know if you've seen our past live streams on my channel. Just to bring you up to speed. So Matt worked with Project Rubicon.
Team Rubicon, yeah.
Yeah, Team Rubicon and several other volunteer groups, delivering aid out to the front lines. and got injured out there in a couple of different ways, and ended up getting shot in the head actually, and spent almost 8-9 months in recovery in Ukraine. And
yeah, it's been like a year and 2 months since it happened.
Yeah, and is just now in the past few months back in the United States for his recovery. So yeah, quite a journey to be sure.
Well, I'm glad that you made it, man, and I'm glad that you're recovering well. And
thank you
very much for taking that risk and doing that work, because it is crucial. So, yeah, my respect.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Sorry, Sakai, you were asking about the Dene culture and everything. Kind of the tie that Sherkahn and I have a little bit is I lived in New Mexico for 15 years and also in Arizona, and I lived and worked with Dene people for about 10 of those years, building the internet across those reservations, Indian reservations, and also the Pueblos, Hopi and Zuni and Apache, all those tribes. So that was my experience before.
Well, that's very important work. Anyone who's unaware of the infrastructure in the Navajo Nation alone, it's pretty bad. There's a lot that needs to be built and done. Not just electricity and internet, but I mean, there's no water. I haven't worked with them directly, but I've donated in the past and kept up with Dig Deep, if you're familiar probably with them, if you were in that area.
It's a lot like in some ways the challenges of Ukraine, except Ukraine has better internet. But a lot of homes don't. There's more than 25%, maybe 50% of people don't have running water. Almost no one has electricity for 100% of the day. Education levels are extraordinarily low, and frankly, the government corruption is the worst in the nation by far.
Yeah. Well,
it makes Ukraine corruption look small time, in my humble opinion. At least they're running neck and neck. So
there's a few other places, not just tribes, but state level governments. Missouri, Appalachia, West Virginia, and Lakota. Yeah, all of those come to mind. But anyway,
I mean, the point is that Ukrainians think they have the monopoly, on like. And I'm like, you know what? There are parts of America that are pretty bad too. Grass is always greener on the other side, right?
Yeah, but of course, for all of these, Ukraine and all of the other states and tribes mentioned, striving to cut down and crack down on the corruption is incredibly important, especially for Ukraine right now. Because of course, as we're all aware, the big difference between these other places mentioned in Ukraine right now is the fact that Ukraine is in an active, hot war. There's a, it's a very different scenario, but we got to find those similarities and those things between our nations and cultures that allow us to relate to one another. The good and the bad. Sharing culture.
I took part in this great project this last time I was in Ukraine, actually, where we were taking a bunch of Trypillian pots or pots and artifacts from the Trypillian culture and taking them from Western Ukraine up to Lutsk, I think it was. But the thing I noticed when I'm holding these giant 5,000-year-old pots, which really kind of freaked me out, to be honest with you. They told me if I drop it, it's okay because they already put it together once before. But it was strikingly similar to the Southwest culture we have in New Mexico. I mean,
isn't that
interesting? The forms, the artifacts themselves. I mean, it was really cool to look at.
Uncanny.
It is uncanny, and it reminds me of what Carl Jung said about because Carl Jung spent a lot of time in Kenya Africa, and then he came to New Mexico and spent a lot of time in Taos, New Mexico, and was blown away by the same thing, similar culture, similar dances, similar dress. I see a lot of that in Ukraine. I mean, not only, and I'm not drawn to it because my family's, Ukrainian, but I think there's something genetic there that draws you to that culture. Well, if you're from there.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because we kind of wandered into this topic right quick, but I have a good friend, who is quite involved with actually moderating and keeping up with information about what's happening in Ukraine, who is half Lakota and half Ukrainian. And most people also don't know that years ago, like 100 years, I think in the 1920s, the first academic from abroad outside of Ukraine who wrote about the Holodomor, it briefly, very soon after the Holodomor happened, just a few years after, was a Cherokee academic from the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma.
That's fascinating.
Wow, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'd have to pull up his name again, but yeah, there are these connections that people aren't aware of because they just kind of get sidestepped, or they kind of just go under the radar and just end up in a history book somewhere.
Helena, I don't know if we may be talking about things that you don't quite understand. We've got four Americans in here, talking about a lot of things that Europeans, I would say, don't know about America. They're kind of, I don't want to use the word hit, maybe obscure would be the correct word, not hidden, but just a lot of cultural connections that you may not be aware of that we see. And it's one thing that, I spend a lot of my time teaching English and English and culture, let's say, to Ukrainians. And you just reminded me, you guys, that I need to be teaching those connections as well, just as much,
Yeah. Oh, and so right quick, but before we move on to the next topic, I want to highlight this because I've just got the ticker box that's going back and forth on the bottom. Let me share my screen again because I want to show everyone who's here with us. There you are, share screen. Both of these. And let me... best way to do this is going to be... probably like... I'll just go full screen for a sec. All right, so first I have here the Project Konstantin website, and I want to share with everyone, it is projectkonstantin.org. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now for everybody. And let me also title it. And specifically, the work that they do, it is crucial. As you can see, we've got, zoom in, emergency evacuations, transport, supplies, assisting civilians, assisting soldiers. Project Konstantin is a volunteer organization, and it is a charitable organization registered under the laws of Ukraine. They've been through a lot of very intense stuff, helping in all the ways that they can during this war. So please be sure to check out their website if you would like to assist with a donation. That opens up a new link. Then I'll also be putting a link to their donor box, which you can now see here because it opened in a new tab. And I think the default is British pounds, but they're running right now a campaign to get 20,000.
Yeah, it
British
resets
pounds.
every month for 20,000, but it's not necessary to be 20,000 every month. It's just like, because it's running expenses, we're kind of fundraising for, since we're on the ground the whole time. we've got our ongoing vehicle maintenance repairs, and that's continuous.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine it is a lot.
So so we've got that. We've got supplies and all of that, So it's unlike organizations that, go out and supply per item or itemize things. We kind of do, since we're there on the ground, we have we do the evacs as well and everything. Those running expenses are it's difficult because people like to fundraise for one thing and then it's done. It's like, yay, guys, see, we fundraised for like 10 Mavics. And everyone's like, yay, we got the goal. And we're more like, hey, so it's a new month and the car is broken down again. Because, hey, 2 days in the net will ruin your car for you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, imagine spending several, it could be in the 4 or 5 digits or even more, spending several $1,000s on a vehicle. They don't last that long, guys. They are crucial, but actually, I've also, maybe you guys have some experience with this, or maybe you've talked to someone who's got some experience with this. A lot of the vehicles that we get out there, like NAFO trucks and such, are repurposed, I suppose you could say, civilian grade vehicles.
Yep.
How long do the actual, built for this kind of work, built for combat trucks and other transport vehicles tend to last by comparison? If you guys have any experience.
Halia, do you know?
Yeah, I know if you will translate me the question, but yeah, you will. But what I want to say about military and civilians cars, I was driving 10 minutes and I didn't broke it. I didn't broke our car.
You
I
didn't
promise.
break it.
Yeah, I wanted to say this. But I know that in Ukraine, some organizations, they started to build more armed kind of vehicles. And it's not manufactured, it just garages little bit more than civilian garage, and the order from the gas is huge and needs are huge. But it's the same what we can say about our drone can drop some some
presents.
special
Special presents.
Yeah,
Special
I was in very little laboratory in the east, and I met some guys who built these gifts, and they said, "You see, you can be proud of us, about us, because we do great job, and of course I am proud of them." But they say, "You have to understand, Russians have a lot of plants of these plants, manufacturers." And we can do just only in civilian garages, one person, one engineer, one table. And the same about armored cars and technique for Ukrainian army.
Gotcha. Oh, I think we lost Matt. I put him back in, but then
So Halia, I've sent you the question.
We got a question?
Yeah. So no. It's just sometimes with translation for Halia, I'll send her the question in English for her to translate so that she can give us, so she can understand the question a bit better, just with accents and everything,
Oh, gotcha.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
What accent?
Yeah.
Come on now.
No, we've actually found out. Halia's actually told me she understands South African accents. She understands American accents, but British accents.
No.
That's like she needs subtitles for the Brits. So she'll send me some, and we have some friends who work with us, and she'll be like, "Yana, what did they say?"
Yeah, I got the question. Thank you, Yana. Sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's 2 weeks. We can't say because roads are different and task for the car can be different. And with gifts from Russia's drones or without them, roads in the field or roads in the forest, you know this information that we spent like a team, we spent something about half a year, I suppose 7 months in the forest, and it's not the same what we have now, but in forest it was like earth like glue, and we always stuck, yeah, so, you understand. But now we have roads with huge results of bombing.
Yep.
And it's like in landscape, like for motorbike sport, you know, wee, and trampoline and the next trampoline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Not
but I
very
think
long
that's
time.
I think that's also the interesting thing for me, is, you know, because I was explaining it to someone, is, you know, how you have to adapt to Ukraine's landscape, depending on where you are. I'm reading Gates of Europe by Serhei Pluchy at the moment.
Great book.
Yeah, I've just started. And I mean, for me, it was like, you know, I've watched the Timothy Snyder lectures, and I've got some really passionate Ukrainian friends who are really passionate about their history as well. So they've also told me some stuff. So now I'm reading the book, and I'm like, oh yeah, like Timothy Prof. Snyder spoke about this, and oh yeah, Olya told me this, and oh yeah, Anna told me this, you know. So I know all of these things, but still, in his book, he's got this, like at the front, like right at the start, he's got this map on the typography. That's the typography of what it looks like in the lay of the land. Like, here's the steppes, mountains, marshlands, and everything, and you kind of get an idea. And when you spoke now about how everything, like the change from when we were in the forest to where we're at now, you know, all of that also needs to be taken into account, like how long a car lasts us in the forest versus how long it lasts where we're at now is different. And I think it just, why is my dog growling? Stop it! Come on, hurry. She's just lying here on the floor, just growling at nothing.
Jealous.
Oh, she's saying, let's move on to the next segment. Grr.
So yeah, I think it's just another thing where it's just yeah, it's just another, it just adds a different facet to you know, providing supplies, to training and everything. Because I know on the Shills last night, Greg was also talking about it, where he used to supply this unit up in Sumy, and they're moving, and they actually asked him, they're like, hey, this new area where we're going to now, you've been there a lot. What's the terrain like? What's the warfare like there right now?
Right.
And I mean, that is something that, you know, when you're dealing with a territory as big as Ukraine, I think, you know, you have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
we've been used to the cover of the forest, you know, for, like Helena said, for 7 months almost. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And now we don't have that.
Yeah. And adapting to that, I'm sure, it's difficult, and it's necessary, but it's not fun, I'm sure, because when you lose something like that, something that gives you a little bit more of an advantage with the work you're doing, and it's life or death, you notice very quickly, I'm sure, when things change like that.
Yeah.
Well, right quick, I want to highlight something. Yes, I just want to highlight in chat, PayPal direct donation for Project Konstantin is up. Our mod CF Beauty, who is here, who is joining to help out with this stream, was kind enough to put this in the chat. And so, yeah, if anyone prefers using PayPal instead of DonorBox, please check out that link. And again, all donations go directly to helping with medivacs and getting Ukrainians, getting soldiers and civilians out of harm's way. So please be sure to go check that out. Next thing I want to highlight before we got to finish up this stream, because I am going to have to go pretty soon, is let me share this and move this over. And we'll go full screen.
For
again
those
also.
of you,
Oh no! Don't
Oh,
show
no.
my terrible website.
You don't want me
For those
to?
of you who
No,
are
no,
on
no,
the
it's
Project
fine.
Konstantin Discord, I just posted a pic of my dog, so that you
It's
can
a
see
dog,
who has been
guys.
growling.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a sec. Where?
Yeah. All the guys in my chat want to see a picture of your pet. So that's
hold
the
on.
discussion happening
Okay,
right now.
fine. Let me actually get my dog. Sky, come.
Yeah, let's see.
Come. Let's see, because she's not used to actually.
Oh, look at the face.
Oh.
That is totally not
There
the
we go.
dog I had pictured. I was picturing like a pug or a chihuahua. something. I
No,
don't know.
she's actually a service dog for me. I have epilepsy, so she
Nice.
she
Oh,
picks
me
up on my seizures before I get them.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's good. How long have you had her with you?
Fuck. For 3 years now. Shit, sorry. Yeah, so for 3 years now.
Oh, that's
I need a
fantastic.
dog like that.
You know,
Oh, yeah?
it's some amazing vibe. Sometimes in our volunteer group in WhatsApp, we have this day, come with your pet. And today our volunteers, they win the best win. They send photo with little dogs.
Oh,
Yeah, little ducklings.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so cute that I have a dog too, but duckling.
Duckling, yeah.
So
I-
so did you say that it's Bring Your Pet Day at the volunteer center? Did I hear that correctly?
In volunteer chat room.
In the
Project
volunteer chat.
Konstantin WhatsApp group.
I see. All right. Fair enough.
All right.
And
So
it's a vibe of Ukrainian army and of Ukrainian nation because it's like emotional connection with real life. When in front line, every soldier or brigade or unit, they adopt some dogs and cats, and it's
aw.
it's a reason to come from their missions, short missions, to be with their pet. And you know,
Yeah.
not so often they can talk about their family and about their wife, beautiful girlfriend, but they always talk about their pets, about dogs.
That's funny. I've definitely heard that about cats. I've heard a lot
Yeah.
about people talking about cats. I know Rick had a small patch that he ran for his cat when she died, and I know that I've seen plenty of pictures at least of soldiers with different cat themed, things or pictures. So yeah, I never realized how much Ukrainians love cats until the topic came up a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I have Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandalf here.
Those are your cats?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah,
Nice. I like both of those names.
yeah. One's black and one's gray. So
Oh, I see.
Funny.
That is funny, man.
I mean, cat. Just
I-
figured that's simple enough.
All right, so real fast. I know you said not to, but I want people to know it exists. So I'm just gonna show real fast.
yeah. So actually, the most important thing to show here right now is the drone raffle. So scroll down a little bit
Okay.
to the drone. So we're kind of most of the other stuff. Yeah, there
one?
you go. The drone raffle. You can if you want to support the work I'm doing right now. It's the drone there, and then over on the far left hand side there it says raffle to help the Legion. We are refocusing on drones. now, and so there's going to be some changes to this website. We're going to really focus on tourniquets and drones, basically.
And it was Joe who recommended this model?
Yeah. Big Mac's
yeah.
Battle Blogs. Yeah, he.
Yeah.
I asked him. I said, what's a low cost, workable drone? And so we're up to, this is be about $800 for the drone.
Okay.
It carries 6 kilograms, so it can be used multiple times. And you can see we're up to 258, but on the other on the regular product we're up to about 250 as well. So I'm going to add them both together. And then some people, if you donate through PayPal, it doesn't show up right away. I have to go in and manually update it. But so some people have donated through PayPal. We might actually be very close to 800 today, right now. I haven't had time to go in and add it all up. But as soon as we get that, I'm going to order that for.
Okay, nice. So it's a little bit more than the 258 it shows here right now.
Yeah, that's for the raffle. So 11. So somebody's going to win what you see here from that raffle. And other people have donated without the raffle, essentially.
Okay. Anyone who's interested. Oh shoot. Anyone who's interested, and I think the quality should be good enough. Here is a QR code that you can. Oh, hold on. There we go. Here is a QR code that you can scan if you're interested in that raffle. I'm putting in the chat a link to the Shopify site, so people can take a look at everything you're doing there to support Ukrainian soldiers. So please go check that out, everybody. And that is yukraine.myshopify.com. So thank you very much for putting that together, man.
Thank you.
All right, and let's see. Oh yeah, I only have a few minutes left, so let me close this. And yeah, here we go. So, well, we got everybody here. Does anyone have any particular news, any particular projects, or anything they'd like to announce to everybody, since we've got all three streams running? I think we've got 107 people total across all our channels right now watching.
Nice.
Is what I can see. So yeah, if anyone has any closing remarks or anything important they want to announce, feel free to you have anything, James, or you?
Yeah. Well, I as soon as we get off the horn here, I'm gonna. I think I probably missed a call from Jenny. We're gonna organize I'm hoping in starting the week of the 21st, right? So in 2 weeks, essentially, I'm gonna do a run with him out to the front lines. And so I want to get together as much stuff to take with. Obviously, we're going to take some of Greg Terry's stuff too, and load up a couple of vehicles at least, and run it out there. And so that's the big push that I'm doing right now. All the other things I'm working on are kind of in the background behind, trying to get. I'm all about systems, trying to get systems in place. And particularly building those connections to America and the world outside of Ukraine. There's so many, like Project Konstantin, and so many amazing. I don't want to compete with any of the work that those other people are doing. I'm trying to build something outside of that bubble to expand our reach, our collective reach as a community. And if I can do this, and if it is successful, what I'm trying to do, then I would like to take this model and offer it to other pro-Ukraine charities and say, hey, let me help you set this up, and maybe if it'll work for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and hold on, let me pull something up real fast. Because I'm always, and that's one thing I love about streams like this here or on the Shills, is kind of just the networking that happens, getting people together to work on projects or to work together to assist Ukraine. I know a channel who I'm trying to put in touch with a few others like the Shills and European Resilience Initiative and a few other groups that have a presence on YouTube. Protect Ukraine Now. I won't name drop which groups, but he's got a few ties to groups in Washington, D.C. So if you're trying to specifically get word out to any politicians in D.C. about, just in general, to put more pressure there, let me know and I'll try to put you in touch with them. So,
cool. Awesome.
All right. With that, Yana, do you have anything that you want to say? Closing statements or anything important?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Please check out, continue to support Ukraine and check out all the streams. Also, Rick has Greg on his stream tonight and Anna from Kharkiv.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. In fact,
you should probably be there as well, right?
Well, I'll be there for the second half because I have other obligations.
You're gonna be cool today again. Yeah, gonna be activist.
I gotta go do. I gotta go do
real
stuff
life
with
stuff
with my legs out in the real world. Yeah. So I'll probably be there in like 4 hours. I should be joining Rick on his stream. But yes, actually, thank you for reminding me because that's one last thing. That's a good way to close this out. I'm gonna open up one more thing to show on screen real fast, and then we'll wrap up.
I want everybody to just check out Matt's tapestry. Oh, it went faded just now. Holy crap,
what's
dude!
The tapestry of?
It's like a medieval tapestry with all these like medieval chicks, dude. It's rocking. Oh, you can't see it because the sun. Oh, it's faded out because of the sun. Oh, it's so cool.
I love that description of it. It's a bunch of medieval chicks, dude.
Could you get more California than that?
Right?
Yeah. I have a master's degree. I teach English, by the way. If anybody wants an English lesson.
That is,
the master's degree is not an art history, clearly.
that colloquial nomenclature, that particular vocabulary, it's just, yeah, absolutely. I can tell you're American.
Top shelf.
Anyway, so let me share my screen real fast one more time, like the millionth time today. And this one, this one I'll put it like this. This
also,
is
Helena, you are definitely joining us for the Shills next weekend if Russia doesn't decide to bomb Odessa again. Like orders from Dick, he just told me. So you're joining us for the Shills next Saturday evening, unless Russia decides to bomb you, in which case it's the next time. But
I really suppose, I really hope that Russia don't see now, and I can maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's okay. Like we'll have them. We'll just. I don't think they'll watch us. I think we're small enough that they won't watch us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice thing about being, under the radar. It's like we got all the good people in here.
Yeah. All right. So I just put the link in the description, and so did N Hill. Thank you very much, Nikki. And this is for myMiniAuction.com /Rickrollers Auctions. We have a couple things that are being bid. Some of them are, the time limit is going to run out here in a few hours. So if you're watching and you're interested, take a look. The first one is a flag that is signed by Roman Trokimets. He and his sister Lila run the Voices for Ukraine YouTube channel. Roman and actually Lila is fluent in Spanish, so I always enjoy being on streams because then I get to speak Spanish with somebody. And Roman
Sherkahn looks so excited.
No, I'm looking at the dog. I'm excited about Elena's dog.
Oh, Bonya. Bonya is also.
Oh,
she was
dog.
barking at. Yeah, she was barking at the squirrel in the Shills last night. Halia sent me like video last night because she's watching it on her TV.
I remember.
And then she's got like a mirror cupboard. And the dog was like, Bonya was looking at the reflection of the dancing raccoon. Of the dancing
Oh,
raccoon.
the raccoon,
in
yeah.
Yeah, of the dancing raccoon. And she would run off to the mirror, go bark at it, and then run back to Halia, and then run back.
Yeah, and 2 hours she was running to the mirror and back.
That's pretty funny. And so as I was saying regarding this flag, so this is the big item, and it's still got a week left. So you got plenty of time if you have an interest, everybody. Current bid is $1,200 for this flag signed by Roman. Roman is a wounded veteran of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. He served as a sniper with the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, which is a special forces unit. 3rd Separate Assault Brigade were very important in multiple different operations, most personally for me related to Tridents Against Tyrants. We have been fundraising for the 110th Mechanized Brigade, who served in Avdiivka and still serve in the Avdiivka direction. So evacuation of the 110th and multiple other units when the withdrawal from Avdiivka occurred, they were very important in making that happen and helping to save lives. So if you would like a flag signed by someone who I very much consider to be a war hero of Ukraine, be sure to check that out. Next, we have a few, if you don't have, more, a couple grand, for the big ticket item for the flag, we also have here a bit more affordable, a few pieces of artwork that were created by Leathercat, a member of the rollers community in Rick the Ukrainian's Discord server and YouTube community. Have a painting here called "We're Not Made of Stone." Yeah, acrylic on cotton. Actually, can I get a full screen? Let's see. Yeah. So here's the first one. "We're Not Made of Stone." This is acrylic on cotton. Size is 8 by 10 inches or 20.3 by 25.4 centimeters. Same for the rest of the paintings. Inspiration, well, as you can see, is related to warriors of Ukraine who are fighting a desperate war for their very existence. And of course, with any war, unfortunately, lives are taken. So there's a need to kill the enemy, to kill those who are seeking to commit genocide against Ukraine, which, that's exactly what the orcs are doing. And so inspiration also came from a song where they literally stand on the wrong side of heaven and the righteous side of hell. Charity fundraiser for this. Any money that's made will be going to charity to support wounded warriors of Ukraine. And I'm also bidding on that. So if you guys want it, you have to fight me for that one because I like that painting a lot. Next one is "Where's My Friend?" Same size and medium. This one is inspired by the lost children of Ukraine. It is a small blue teddy bear sitting forlorn among ruins, asking where his friend, his child companion, has gone. Hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian children have been abducted or killed by the Muscovites. The tears on the bear's face are for the lost children of Ukraine. Fundraiser for this, money for this will go toward the Hostomel animal shelter. And final piece of artwork that we have is symbols of hope. Inspiration are symbols of Ukraine. The sunflower with seeds forming the shape of the trident as a symbol of Ukraine's strength and prosperity, draped in leaves, flowers, and berries of the kalina bush, representing the courage and resilience of Ukraine's people, with a clear blue sky as the hope of a peaceful future for Ukraine. And charity will be Voices for Ukraine and the work that they do. Lila Trokimets organization from up above. Current bid is $200 on this one. And this is the painting. You can see the trident, the trezub, right here in the center. So if anyone has an interest in any of those and wants to support any of these charities, oh, and it's $80 currently for the bear. Please go check that out. We will be announcing winners, I think, for the paintings down below in the stream today, on Rick's stream. And yeah, be sure to come join us.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. So let me stop sharing that. All right. So I think that just about wraps us up for this stream. So let's just go around one more time then. Well, to those who haven't had a chance yet to speak. So let's start with Matt. You have any closing remarks?
I'm just happy to be here and proud of everyone doing what they're doing, making a big difference for Ukrainians all around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, man.
Thank you, man. And thank you for being here. We really do appreciate it a lot. Halina, do you have any closing remarks or anything you want to say?
Yeah, I reading all comments, and some of them are very touchful. And Evan Archer, I see all your comments, and every time I was, wow, how do you know this? How do you know this truth? How do you know this truth if you are not in Ukraine and if you don't feel it so deep as Ukrainian have these feelings? I know that news it's some business, and information is just valuta. Information just a whore. Is it correct word? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very easy to sell information and to buy information, but what people will trust for, it's for your natural feelings, it's for your courageous to speak, it's for courageous to show to the world that in Ukraine, in this war, we don't see any no such things as a honor court of war or fight. And your friends can trust only to your feelings and to your emotions and to your knowledge. And this it's not a little cycle of people around you, all people who are here for Ukraine, yeah, for all who are supporting us. It's this cycle can grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we have some ideas how to have how to grow it, we have to use. And I'm very appreciating for you inviting me here. And I promise
It's
you I
your
will
stream, of course we're gonna invite you. It's
Yeah,
our
of
channel.
Yeah.
Alina's like, thank you for inviting me onto my own channel.
Yes.
Yeah, because just now I opened Discord and saw that I have some messages to me previously in Discord. I didn't know.
Yeah, because you forgot you have Discord, probably.
Yeah. I
Do
guess
you know this information that I started in PK like online manager? Can you imagine this job?
And then I came in and she's like, yes, please do it. Please take everything.
Yes. So yeah, I'm here to speak more, to speak. In PK, I'm here to do documental work and to have connection with volunteering in Ukraine and around Ukraine. But today and here, I just want to remind you that you have a voice, you have your experience, and you have love of all Ukrainians and our gratitude. Yeah.
Gratitude.
Thank you. And I'd like to inspire you to speak more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Aww,
Thank
hello.
you. And finally, Sherkahn, do you have anything that you want to say? Any closing statements, remarks, thoughts, anything?
I do. First, I'm honored to be here. I mean, I'm very humbled by
We're honored to have you, man.
Yeah.
The group here, because you guys have done so much for so many people. And that's, if I could say anything, I would just say that how impressed I am by everyone who's helping, because volunteering is a really lonely and exhausting existence. Yeah. And I don't think people really understand that. Yeah, that's one thing, and I've done the soldier life and the hardships that go with that. But volunteering is very different, because you don't get paid, first of all, to volunteer. And, it takes groups like this to get any sense of, okay, am I going in the right direction? Do I have the right ideas? Is my philosophy still in line with what Ukraine needs? But I think, the more that we listen to each other, the more we're going to figure out a better way to do this. So, like I said, I really appreciate being a part of this. Thank you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, and I hope that we can do this again. I'm definitely I definitely want to do more multi-streams, especially with channels where that maybe aren't streaming as often.
It's really great.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get all these technical kinks worked out,
Yeah, well, and to be fair, there weren't too many today.
Pretty smooth.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I like this software. I just got to decide if I'm going to use this and keep paying money for it, or if I'm going to use OBS. But either way, we'll definitely do this again. All right, everyone. Well, be sure to check out the websites for Project Konstantin and Shopify for Why Ukraine: The Last Alliance. Go subscribe to their YouTube channels. Show support for the very important work that they're doing. I just realized I should have, but actually, I don't need to worry about it because I've got Nightbot doing it. So there were a bunch of links to my fundraiser anyway. So go back and find Nightbot, and it's posted probably like 100 times about the PayPal and buy me a coffee links for helping the 110th Mechanized Brigade. We got a very generous donation by a member in the chat right now, actually, the other day on another stream, and we're currently at let me see. We are at 88,857.63 hryvnia of our 1,873,000 goal. So we will be getting more drones soon, I'm sure. We are at 19 out of 110 currently that have been financed for the 110th Brigade. So please be sure to check that out as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and Slava Ukraini.
До побачення.
Slava.